Everyone is hyped about AI content systems, but let's be honest, we don't provide you with real valuable assets that you can use in your own business. No SEO optimization, dual vocabulary, and AI gibberish make this content unusable. That's why I created my own content system that tackles all these problems and consistently generates articles like these with SEO optimized headlines and content, research done by various tools, as well as 5 to 7 pages long articles. If you want to know more how I combine Airtable as my content dashboard as well as n8n for creating the system like this using Perplexity deep research, heavily for competitors analysis, ChatGPT and Claude for content writing, and Rapid API for SEO keywords, stay tuned because in this video I combine all the system and show you how you can do it as well. My system consists of 5 different parts. Part 1 will get the top 3 ranking key articles for that particular keyword. Part 2, it will generate summary and outline for our content system agents. The third part will do our research using different APIs like Perplexity and SEO keyword research tools. The part 4 will be talking about how to write a good brief for our agents that will actually generate that content, and in the final part will be generating the content, editing it, and summarizing into one Google Doc. The whole system starts at Airtable, where we have our content system dashboard. We insert the client URL, the topic about we want to write. So in this case, we will be writing about best CRM platform 2025. We select the type of a text. In this case, I selected blog post, but we also can use product review, category description, landing page, etc. We inserted the language and the keyword that we want to rank on, CRM platforms, our competitors, in this case it's Pipedrive, and some notes for AI to know. So basically that's the dashboard, and in the end we'll be getting the outline for the text, the content research done by the AI, the brief for different AI models, as well as the final result in the URL. So in order to test this workflow, I just need to go to Airtable, select send, and the whole process will start. The process might take from 2 to 3 minutes because there are a bunch of different API calls. So we'll need to wait, and after everything is finished, I'll get back to explaining on how this system really works. A couple of minutes, this whole system run through, and now I can start you explaining on how this actually works. And I'll start from a part 1. We'll be talking about how to get top 3 ranking links with content from Google automatically with n8n. So the process starts with a webhook. So basically we have a button field where we just label it as send. The action is default, open URL, and we just insert our webhook URL, select and input the record ID with brackets, and that's how we can insert the record ID that we got from the webhook. And now we have all of this information that we need, like notes, keywords, competitors, type, content research is null because it still wasn't generated at that time, as well as the topic, client, URL, and all this information. That information I like to have in a separate pack in edit fields, because after that I'll need to modify it or something. So I just reduplicate this information like topic, type, and language, and insert it as strings. And now the fun part begins when we are using Tavily HTTP request. So if you don't know what Tavily is, you can watch my last video on sales enrichment agent. But basically Tavily is a Google search API that helps us to get latest articles on the topic, on the keyword that we want to have, and research that content, put that content back to us for our AI to look at it, analyze it, and adapt to the keyword and the topic we want to write about. So basically we include the Tavily API out here, so you can go to app.tavily.com and get your own API key, and it will help you to get all this information from Google by inserting the query, the search depth, and all this time range stuff that you might need in order to get the research. In this case, I just inserted the Tavily API key as well as the query. That is our keyword CRM platforms, and basically that heavily will get us the 3 top most ranking results from Google with the content and the URL. As you see, we get like a content description, not the whole content, and it's a problem. That's why I want to get the URL of this article and scrape all of it. And I do that with a code node that basically helps us to extract a clean data, URL, the title, and the description in one place. I used ChatGPT to generate this code, so you can do that too pretty easily. And when we have this clean data, I loop through each of the articles. So we got 3 articles, so I loop through each of them and I get the full content of this article, not just a description, but full content for our analysis that we will make later on. So basically I get content, HTTP request, I just select get, and I don't select nothing else except the Gina.ai API. If you don't know what Gina.ai is, it's basically a very good, almost free scraping tool that you could use for your own analysis and own large language models. That basically lets us get more complete content just like this from all these 3 different articles, and it is a needed information that we'll be later analyzing and writing our content about. And basically after each of these is looped through, we aggregate them into one nice looking table with all this data that we got from each of the article, and now we'll be ready to summarize it and create an outline out of this content. So in the part 2, we basically have a ChatGPT model, system and user prompt. So I can start with a system prompt, insert the role that it's a content analyst and structure specialist, and basically it will provide us with an output with a summary of that specific article, as well as the core main insights that will be used for further writing. So a JSON format, summary, and insights. I ask for it to generate just like that, and the output looks pretty much like this. The article provides this and that. At least 15 or 10 insights are generated all the time, and that's really valuable information that we'll be using later on to not just copy paste the article that we got from Google, but to invoke a real genuine content. The user prompt is way simpler. I just say that you will have the data of 3 best performing articles, and for context the topic is this and that, and please generate at least 15 points using this aggregated data. So it will be using all the aggregated data from these 3 articles, and based on the summary and insights that we got, we'll move on to the outline part. So basically this AI part will generate us with an outline for our blog post, help understanding all these different contents and the best practices from last articles. So in this case we have a system prompt, your helpful intelligent writing assistant. The user prompt is also generated in a pretty much similar format with a role, objective, and context. So basically I just include all the required information for our outline and how we should write. I include some examples and things like that. So it's a pretty long prompt, but it generates a really good blog outline thing, because with a bad outline we cannot prompt ChatGPT or other AI nodes to really write those in a better way. The research part, I think, is one of the most cool ones, because now we can have a possibility to deep dive into the content based on the outline that we got. So we'll be using 2 different tools. One will be a Perplexity research, and another one is the keyword research, where we basically get even more content for our AI agents later on, as well as generating some nice additional keywords that we could also rank to. And we'll start with Perplexity research. So basically this research agent has 2 different tools. One is for Perplexity and another one is for keyword research. So the research agent itself its main task will be to provide a research report based on the information it got from Perplexity and Keyword Research API. For the system, for the task prompt, I just insert a bunch of information from that we got already, the outline, the client information, and the task will be to generate that report combining Perplexity and SEO analysis. The system prompt, basically the same format as always. Regarding the nodes, up here we have Perplexity and Keyword Research. So I'll show you what Perplexity is all about. Flow trigger that will input the information from our research agent. So basically research agent will have a input like this: latest trends, statistics, market analysis of CRM platforms in 2025, including top players, etc., etc. So it will be sent to our Perplexity API. We need to go to Perplexity, get the URL, include the authorization with a token, and insert the full body template with a model, and etc. So basically we'll say the most important part is the content part, where we say do a comprehensive market research on this topic, and we include that JSON query from the research agent, also replacing all the unnecessary information that we have right here. And then that's it. We can see the data that it just generated. The query was like this, and we got the content with the latest developments in that particular field. As you see, a lot of information, and one interesting part that we also get those citations. So that's why I want to not only send the information to our research agent regarding the content itself, but as well as the citations for further reference when we are dealing with the writing itself. So that's why I included that edit fields, where I map out the response, that is the content, as well as the citations from which this content was generated from. And that's basically it. That's the Perplexity agent. Regarding the SEO keywords research, that is also used by research agent. We are using SEO keyword research API that I got from Rapid API. So there are a bunch of different APIs out there. For this test, I'm not using any Hrefs API or SEMrush API because they are costly, but for the client work, we are implementing these for sure. And now I'm just testing for this demo version. I'm just using a cheap API that I can have a free trial on. I selected the SEO keyword research API that has a free trial. API basically needs only one parameter, the keyword that we want to rank, to look for, and the country. And the output of it is a very interesting one. I can quickly show you. So basically we get all the different keywords related to the same keyword with cost per click, search volume, competition level, and the score. So it's a useful information, and we get like 42 items in this case, like CRM software examples, best CRM programs, CRM best, CRM examples, and etc., etc. And this wonderful data can be analyzed, and our AI can look through it and select the highest volume, lowest competition keywords for our own article that we'll be using on. We'll include several different keywords that rank really good. So basically, if you want to use this API, it's a free trial. I believe around 15 or 20 API calls every week or month. You'll need to go to Rapid API, subscribe to this API, and basically copy the curl command right here and insert it into the HTTP mode by importing the curl just like this and importing it. That will be it. And yeah, you'll get all this different information that you need. So basically you can change the country. The keyword will be, of course, our JSON query, CRM platforms from the Airtable. You don't even need to include your API key because it will be up here. So that's a very good API call that will be analyzed by our research agent, and this research agent will generate a report based on these findings. A more interesting view, we can go to Airtable and see the content research brief in Markdown format. So it's a comprehensive research report, the topic overview, the market trends and developments, what are the latest trends, technology advancements, and market leaders, as well as some good high volume opportunities on the keyword side, CRM platforms. This one, CRM definition, the CRM systems, long tail keywords, and content gap opportunities, and all the different sources that we might use. It's a very good site. And now we can move to the part 4, that is brief writing. So basically in this part, our AI agents will get those outlines, the research, and will generate briefs for each of the part in our blog post. So one for headline, one for introduction, one for main content, as well as the conclusion. So we are using brief agent that has all this information. Basically, we are saying that your brief director orchestrating these 4 different sub agents, and I want you to output the 4 different briefs with each of your sub agents in JSON format. So please include that JSON format. We include the information for context. So all the information about our client, the outline of the text, and we just repeat the JSON format. And why we need the JSON format? Because we want to have a separate briefs for introduction, for headline, for main content, and conclusion. So that's why I want to have 4 different briefs. Regarding the sub-agents, I did one interesting thing, is that I also included the research analysis and outline for them individually too, because we need to understand the context. And if I wouldn't use these inputs, basically the headline brief, the brief from the brief agent to the headline brief agent would be just generate me a headline brief. It wouldn't be very complex or advanced one. And now we have a bunch of information, like from the research side as well as the outline side, like like this, because we already generated it. So we just put that information and fetch it to the headline brief agent as well as the rest. So for one example, we can see the headline brief creator. Basically, we input that information, the research analysis, the outline, and it generates a brief for the headline creator that include all the different information. We just insert the system prompt that was created in the same format, role objective, input, and the output format that I prefer. And when we have this brief, we repeat the same process with introduction, with main content, brief creator, as well as conclusion creator. And now when we have all these different all these briefs, we ask for the brief agent to provide us with that JSON. That's why I have a structure output parser, because I saw that not every time this agent generates a nice looking JSON. So that's why I have auto-fixing output parser. So basically that sees the output and to really make sure that we outputting that correctly. So if you don't want how to use it, you could just look for auto-fixing parser and select it at the brief agent level as well by clicking the require specific output format. And so that's how this brief agent really works. Of course, it's very difficult, but I don't want to get into 2 hours long video, so that's why I'm doing a short overview of this system. And moving on to the part 5, that is the most important part, because we are finally generating content itself. So basically we inputting all these briefs for introduction, for headline, for main content, and conclusion writing agents. We are using Sonnet 3.5 for content writing. Basically all of the system is running on Sonnet 3.5. brief agent creation, research agent, content creation. I only use OpenAI for summary, outline, and editing. Just for testing purposes, I selected these models. Of course, you can use different models according to the needs. Based on my experience, Sonnet is writing the best, but I want to try OpenAI editing as well. Adding the prompts for these different agents, basically I just include a bunch of different examples with the context that we have already. So I repeat the same information, like information about the client, the outline, the research, the brief that you got, and now just write me a content based on the examples that we have and the structure that I select. So of course the prompting in the content writing part is like the most important part, because you need to have a really good prompts and examples for these AI agents to really work. So I include the role, the objectives, and the SOP. So basically the information how this agent should write the introduction in this example. So it should start with a hook, with a value bridge, with a content roadmap. So basically to introduce the reader of what the reader will see at the end, the table of contents, and the hook. Also include all this information and context regarding the SEO, the style guidelines, the quality markers, and etc. etc. I include the exemplary structure and how it should write, as well as some important parts. And basically after that I ask for it and I give some examples. So I include the example of a blog post introduction. Regarding the headline, I do the same. I just insert the language guidelines. I include some examples and the context that it needs to have, as well as a long system prompt regarding the structure and formatting. With the main content, the situation is a bit more different, because I wanted to really get like the most advanced results I can possibly have. So basically I just included some user and AI, in this case peers, that basically says write main content section on the blog writing, and I just include some main content sections generated on blog post. So that's how I kind of train with AI agents to write me in a better format. So I repeat this same process a couple of times for it to get like more different examples and how you can write based on the information it has already, like SEO keywords, research, and etc. And we finish with a conclusion tab as well. So that is like the main system, and after that we just go to the editor agent that basically will look at the end result that it got from our conclusion, from our main content and headline and introduction, and it will edit it and see if it's really good, if it's SEO optimized, and etc. So we include the conclusion, main content notes, and the output of this editor is to generate it to one markdown format, include the meta description, the title, and to summarize and see if the SEO keywords are really working. I included the maximum amount of tokens for this, and also I use 0.7 temperature for all of my agents. So that's pretty much it. And the last part is creating the Google documents you already saw and updating the record ID. So regarding the Google documents, I just first I create these documents, because you cannot just create and insert that content with one Google Docs node. You need two separate ones. So at first I just create my node by selecting the title of it, and after that I update the same document. So basically I just need to grab the doc ID from the create docs node, and I update the text, and I insert the text generated by the editor, and that is that. The last part is to just update the Airtable with have information we just generated. So in this case, the blog outline, how it looks like, opening blog, hook statement, table of contents, core content blocks, etc. We include the briefs that were generated as well. So create SEO-optimized headline, content brief, etc. The final document is also generated right here, so we can see on the final document that you got. So for a moment I didn't find a way of how to include the markdown format automatically with n8n. With make.com it was pretty easy. Now I didn't see any way of how to create this document formatted with Google Docs, but it looks really good. It's pretty long and has a bunch of different information and context. So pretty much it's the whole system that we are using. So we are using it on our own as well, and in the next couple of weeks will be onboarding a couple of clients that will also would like to have this system created for them. And yeah, that's it. I hope you really liked this system and you will implement this on your own business or team. If you want me to create the system for you, you can with me by pressing the link in the description below. Feel free to reach out to me, and I really want to help you. I hope this system showed you what's possible with AI and automation. I will continue to provide value with similar videos in the future, so stay tuned and see you soon.